Stop scrolling for a moment, because the small coins sitting forgotten in an old collection, a family box, or even hidden away in a drawer could carry a story from one of the most important chapters of American history. But here's the mystery. Not every old penny is valuable. The real excitement begins when collectors discover the tiny details most people never notice. The original surface, unusual toning, preservation, possible errors, and the history hidden inside the coin itself. Today we are uncovering two fascinating wheat pennies that have captured collector interest and brought excitement to the rare coin community. Stay with us until the end, because the final reveal will show you why collectors carefully examine these small pieces of American history instead of simply ignoring them. Welcome back to $1 Million Coins USA, your daily source for fresh, rare coin stories, hidden discoveries, and the fascinating world of American numismatics. Now let's begin with our first historic treasure. Coin number 1. Deep inside the history of American coin collecting, there are coins that tell stories far beyond their face value. The 1942 wheat penny is one of those fascinating pieces because it takes us back to a dramatic period when America was changing forever. The year was 1942. The United States had entered World War II, and every part of American industry was being transformed to support the war effort. Factories were working differently, resources were carefully managed, and everyday objects, including coins, became part of a much larger historical picture. A simple 1-cent coin produced during this era was not just a piece of currency. It was a small witness to a nation moving through uncertainty, sacrifice, and determination. The 1942 wheat penny was produced at the Philadelphia Mint, which means many examples from this year were released without a mint mark. That small detail, the absence of a mint letter, is one of the first things collectors look for when examining these coins. But the real story is not only about the year, it is about the journey. For more than 80 years, many of these pennies have survived in old collections, forgotten jars, family estates, and antique coin boxes. During those decades, their surfaces changed naturally. Some developed different colors, darkened areas, or environmental effects that created a unique appearance. The coin you are looking at has a light black layer and verdigris appearance, giving it a distinctive aged look. For collectors, these surface characteristics create curiosity, because every old coin carries its own history. The wheat penny design was introduced in 1909 to celebrate the 100th anniversary of Abraham Lincoln's birth. It became the first regular U.S. coin to feature a real person. The reverse side features 2 wheat stalks surrounding the words 1 cent and United States of America. This design represented agriculture, growth, and the importance of farming in American life. The wheat penny remained in production until 1958, making it one of the most collected American coin series today. The 1942 issue sits in a special historical period because it was produced just before the famous wartime metal changes that affected U.S. coin production. The 1942 wheat penny was traditionally made from a bronze composition consisting mainly of copper with smaller amounts of other metals. Its classic bronze appearance gave it a warm reddish color when preserved, but decades of circulation and environmental exposure caused many surviving examples to develop brown, dark, or mixed surface tones. The coin's small size made it easy to overlook, but its design details are what attract collectors. The Lincoln portrait, the lettering, the wheat ears, and the overall strike quality all help determine how collectors evaluate each individual coin. A tiny difference in preservation can completely change how a coin is viewed in the collecting world. What makes an old wheat penny interesting is not simply its age. Collectors examine many small details: the sharpness of Lincoln's portrait, the condition of the wheat stalks on the reverse, the strength of the lettering, the original surface appearance, possible minting characteristics, signs of natural aging. The 1942 wheat penny described with a light black layer and verdigris appearance stands out because it has a visual character that immediately attracts attention. Many collectors enjoy coins with unusual natural surfaces because they show the passage of time. Instead of looking like a freshly produced coin, they look like historical objects that survive through generations. A coin with strong details, attractive natural coloration, unusual appearance, and proper authentication can receive much more attention than an ordinary circulated example. This is why experienced collectors never judge an old coin only by its date. They study the complete story, Where was it found? How was it preserved? Does it have unique characteristics? Has it been professionally evaluated? These questions can transform an ordinary-looking coin into an interesting collectible discovery. Now comes the moment every collector waits for. After looking at the history, the design, and the unique appearance of this 1,942 wheat penny, the biggest question remains. What could a coin like this be worth in today's collector market? The answer depends on many important factors: professional authentication, exact condition, originality of the surface, collector demand, and whether the coin has special characteristics that make it stand apart from millions of other examples. For a specially preserved example, with desirable characteristics and strong collector interest, the estimated value discussed for this described coin is around $47,000. A number like this explains why experienced collectors carefully examine old wheat pennies instead of ignoring them. The true excitement of coin collecting is not only the possibility of value, it is the discovery of a forgotten piece of American history that survived for generations. A small penny can sometimes carry a story much larger than its size. If you discover an old wheat penny in your collection, do not rush to clean it or change its appearance. Many collectors consider original surfaces extremely important. Cleaning, polishing, or using chemicals can damage the natural characteristics that collectors look for. Instead, carefully examine the date, the mint mark, the condition, the details of Lincoln's portrait, the wheat stalks on the reverse, any unusual marks, colors, or characteristics. A simple magnifying glass and careful observation can reveal details that are invisible to the naked eye. Remember, every old coin has a story, but only careful examination reveals its true collecting potential. Coin number 2. Now we move to our second historic wheat penny, a coin created during one of the most important periods in American history. The year is 1944. The world was still deeply affected by World War II. American industries were working at maximum strength, soldiers were serving overseas, and everyday life in the United States was connected to the enormous effort taking place around the world. During this unforgettable time, the United States Mint continued producing coins that would later become treasured pieces for collectors. Among them was the 1,944 wheat penny. At first glance, it may look like a simple 1-cent coin, but when you look closer, you begin to see something different. You see decades of history. You see a piece of metal that's survived through generations. You see a coin that traveled through time. The 1,944 wheat penny was produced at the Philadelphia Mint without a mint mark. This was a period when American coin production was adapting to wartime needs. The famous steel cents had already appeared in the 1,943 because copper was needed for military purposes. And by 1944, the United States returned to copper-based cents using recycled materials. This makes the 1,944 wheat penny part of a fascinating transition period in American coin history. Every example represents a connection to the 1,940C, a decade remembered for major events, powerful changes, and unforgettable moments. For collectors, holding a 1,944 wheat penny is like holding a small historical artifact. The most fascinating part of old coins is that no two pieces age in exactly the same way. The environment around a coin for many decades can influence its appearance. Storage conditions, moisture exposure, and natural chemical reactions can create different surface characteristics. A light verdigris layer can give a coin an antique appearance that immediately attracts attention. However, collectors carefully study whether these changes are natural and whether the coin still maintains important original details. The strongest collectible examples are usually those that combine historical importance, clear design details, interesting appearance, good preservation, collector appeal. The 1,944 wheat penny was produced in large numbers, but collectors do not only chase the rarest dates, they also search for exceptional examples. Coins with unusual characteristics, attractive surfaces, strong details, and verified authenticity can become highly desirable. This is why coin collecting remains exciting. A person may look at an old penny and see only 1 cent. A collector sees history, craftsmanship, and a connection to another generation. Now we reach the moment that every collector wants to know. After exploring the history, the wartime background, the classic wheat penny design, and the Unique light verdigris appearance of this 1944 example, the biggest question remains. How much attention can a coin like this receive in today's collector market? The answer is always connected to important factors such as authentication, preservation, exact grade, surface quality, and collector demand. For the described 1944 wheat penny with a light verdigris layer and collectible characteristics, the estimated value figure discussed is around $44,000. This shows why serious collectors never ignore old coins. Behind every small piece of metal can be a story that connects generations, historical events, and the passion of collectors around the world. The true treasure is not only the price. The true treasure is discovering a piece of American history that survived when millions of other coins disappeared from circulation. If you ever discover an old wheat penny, remember one important rule. Do not clean it. Many beginners try to make old coins look shiny, but cleaning can remove the natural surface that collectors value. Instead, handle coins carefully by the edges. Store them in proper holders. Keep records of where they were found. Use good lighting and magnification to study link pair dates and mint marks carefully. If a coin looks unusual, professional evaluation can help determine its true condition and collectible importance. The world of coin collecting is full of surprises. A coin that looks ordinary at first can become a fascinating discovery when examined properly. We explored the 1942 wheat penny took us back to a time when America was facing one of the biggest challenges in its history. Its aged appearance, dark surface characteristics, and connection to the wartime era make it a fascinating collectible piece. The 1944 wheat penny brought us deeper into that same historic decade, showing how even a small 1-cent coin can preserve the story of a changing nation. These coins remind us of something important. Treasure is not always hidden in large places. Sometimes it is found in the smallest objects that people overlook every day. That is why collectors continue searching through old collections, family boxes, and forgotten coin jars. Because history can sometimes be hiding in plain sight. If you enjoyed this rare coin journey, make sure to subscribe to $1 Million Coins USA because our channel brings you fresh updates, amazing coin stories. And fasten, if you enjoyed this rare coin journey, make sure to subscribe to $1 Million Coins USA because our channel brings you fresh updates, amazing coin stories, and fascinating discoveries every day. Stay curious, keep searching, and remember, the next great coin discovery could be closer than you think.